13th through the 16th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Try, buy, and save on fishing and outdoor gear, boats, RVs, travel, power sports, and more. Save on tickets at northwestsportshow.com.
Hear the Dave Ryan Show on the radio, on the iHeartRadio app, and watch on YouTube. Dave Ryan TV from KDWB.
It is Wednesday. We're having a great... I don't know why I'm so happy. I shouldn't be this happy. Maybe it's because Dave and Buster's is coming up. Maybe because Carson's coming home.
Yeah.
Maybe because spring is coming.
Spring is sprung.
Maybe because you get to look at us every day.
You get to look at you two every day. Just delightful. People were chiming in about Bailey can't cook. A little while ago, Bailey was talking about how she made like lentil or vegetable soup for Lent or something like that.
Yeah.
And people are texting in about how they also cannot cook. This one says, Bailey, my friend thought was such a bad cook, they thought iceberg lettuce was when you stick a head of lettuce in the freezer until it freezes. She also tried to make cornbread with a Jiffy box cornbread. It said just pour and bake. So she poured the dry mix into the pan and put it in the oven.
Oh, like no water or no like butter
At
or
least
anything?
I don't do that.
No. Another text says, Bailey, don't worry, I can't cook at all. I literally set Easy Mac on fire, and I'm getting married in October.
Nice.
LOL, you have a chance.
Oh, there's hope for me.
I wouldn't say all that.
All right.
You put milk in soup.
It calls
no,
for
no,
milk.
no, we're not going back there. We've already had this conversation.
It calls
Let's
for milk.
just stop. We're going to play a little game with you. It's KDWB. By the way, we're never more than 10 minutes away. We'll get a little urgency in this one because we're running out of time. It goes through Sunday with the whole Kendrick and SZA tickets. We give you the keyword. You text it in. Boom. It's like buying another scratch ticket. The more scratch tickets you buy, the more chance you have of winning. So these are free. I'll give you the keyword coming up in just a couple of minutes. First, though, a little game called Face Off. Here's the way the game works. Bailey will give a category, and then Vaughn and I will try to name more things in the category, and you can do it too. For example, if I said cartoon dogs, Bailey, name cartoon dogs. Go.
Scooby-Doo.
Come on.
Scooby-Doo. Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah?
Oh, gosh, that
Bluey.
one.
Bluey.
Blue's Clues. Yeah. Goofy. Pluto.
Okay, I mean, not bad. You miss Snoopy. You know,
Snoopy.
He's basically born here in Minnesota.
He was born here in Minnesota.
But, okay, Vaughn, let me try you out really quick here, okay? Sports teams, any of them, go.
Phillies, Eagles, 76ers, 49ers, the Jets, the Giants, the Chiefs,
That's how it works. Okay, very good. Okay. I will leave the room. Bailey will give category number one, and then we'll come back and see how I do after Vaughn does it first.
Nice.
Okay? I'm leaving right now.
I'll
better get
wave
out of
at
here.
you.
Okay, bye.
Scram.
Okay, bye.
He's walking
Thank
out.
goodness he's gone.
All right, let's not even play. Let's just talk crap about him.
Yeah. Okay, Vaughn, your first category for Face Off is storybook tales.
Hansel and Gretel, Princess and the Frog, the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Little Red Riding Hood, the Humpty Dumpty.
Wow, you actually did better than I thought you were going to. Not bad, not
Little
bad.
Sisters.
All right, your next category, Vaughn, is fruits.
Apple, pear, kiwi, guava, strawberry, banana, grapes, purple grapes, then green grapes. Then you got dragon fruit. You got cherries. I said grapes, strawberry. Said that too. Wild black cherries.
All right.
Ooh.
I gave you one grapes because you
That's
can't
fine.
just say all the different
That's
colors.
fine.
of
I still did
grapes.
better than I thought. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
All right, your last category, Vaughn, is presidents.
Okay. Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush, other Bush, Clinton, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, JFK, Thomas Jefferson. I almost said Edison. Oh, that was the timer.
All right. Well, not bad, Vaughn. Not bad.
David!
Dave's creeping in the window.
Come
Can I
back!
come in? All right,
Sad face
Dave.
in the window.
Hello.
I'm really. Oh, actually, I won't say how I feel.
Okay. Dave, you ready?
I am ready.
Your first category is storybook tales.
Storybook tales?
Yep.
The Princess and the Pea. Alice in Wonderland. Charlotte's Web. What is a storybook tale?
Oh, Vaughn knew it. So,
Okay, all right.
All right, your next category is fruits.
Apple, orange, pear, kumquat, peach, plum, raisin, grape, apple, orange, tangerine, grapefruit, mango, lemon, lime, banana. Ooh, I'm pretty proud of myself on that one.
I didn't give you raisin because that's a grape. As you said, raisin, grape.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right. Your last category is presidents.
Lincoln, Jefferson, Washington, Ford, Roosevelt again, Kennedy, Nixon, Johnson, Reagan, Bush again, Trump, Biden.
All right. Wow, you guys, this was pretty good. And I gave you categories that I knew you would get a lot in because sometimes
It's more fun that way.
It is really boring otherwise. So we'll start backwards. We'll go from presidents here. Vaughn, you got 10 presidents.
Hey, look at me.
Nice job.
I almost said Thomas Edison.
You
Dave.
almost
Just wanna
did.
let you know.
Dave, you got 14 presidents.
damn.
Very
Look at
nice. Very
that,
nice.
yeah.
All right. So then fruits. Vaughn, you got 10 fruits.
Okay.
Very good. Dave, you got 16 fruits.
What? Oh, he blew me out of the park.
Yeah, truly did.
A lot of fruits. Yeah.
Kumquat really was an interesting choice.
Thank you.
Yes. We're at Storybook Tales. Vaughn.
What is it? Can you define what a storybook tale
Well,
is?
Vaughn, why don't you tell us what some storybook tales are?
I said Princess and the Frog. I said Little Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks, Humpty Dumpty. I just assumed like nursery rhymes and that realm
storybook
of stuff.
tales.
I call them fairy tales.
All
But
right,
okay,
whatever.
That's fine, yeah.
Vaughn, you got 5.
Okay.
Dave, you barely got 3.
I barely got 3.
Barely got 3. So Dave, you won 2. Vaughn won 1, and that is Face Off.
Thank you so much. Love that game. Are we on YouTube yet?
Yes, we are,
We
baby.
are on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube, Dave Ryan TV on YouTube, and we're going to read some comments. So if you're going to comment on the show, there's a comment section. Come on, it's YouTube. You comment. You can talk about Bailey's, I don't know, the bump on her head.
Yeah.
Let Bailey know whether the bump on her head, which I never noticed before, whether it's really visible or not. And whatever you want to comment on the show, that is on YouTube. We'll read some of those coming up. Right now, very important, got your keyword for Kendrick and SZA. This is your chance to go to the biggest show, like the biggest halftime show ever. Some people are saying it is. And if you want to go see a recreation at U.S. Bank Stadium, we got you.
They not like us. They not like us.
You got a keyword. You got a phone. You're ready to go. The keyword is Saturn. Text the word Saturn, SATURN, to KDWB1. That's 53921, and you are in on KDWB. We'll be right back. 1 hour commercial free on KDWB. What's coming up? We're going to talk about memories from the pandemic. The pandemic basically started 5 years ago today. And I want to hear your most powerful memory from the pandemic. Not to get sad and morose. We're not going to talk about, grandma got COVID and died. That's not really what I'm looking for. But your powerful memory of things that happened and what you did and the hobbies that you started with the pandemic 5 years ago when we were all on lockdown.
Wow.
And we never knew we didn't know how it would end. We'll talk about that coming up next on KDWB.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming back live Monday, March 17th on Fox.
Celebrating the music and artists you've loved on iHeartRadio over the past year and giving you an exclusive first look at the biggest new songs coming in the summer of 25.
And here's your iHeart Awards performer lineup. Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish,
Glorilla, Gracie Abrams,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly.
and your host,
iHeartRadio.
LL Cool J.
Are you guys ready to have some fun tonight?
Plus iHeart Innovator Award recipient Lady Gaga.
And iHeart Icon Award recipient Mariah Carey.
Our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards from the Dolby Theater in Hollywood.
Watch live on Fox Monday, March 17th, starting at 8 p.m.
And listen right here on your radio and the free iHeartRadio app.
From
Take your time, just in your own words. Tell me why you're on War of the Roses.
We both have an Apple Watch, right?
Their relationship is too close at this point, and I think he's using. One girl decides to sit on Adam's lap in the pool.
She came home, and I noticed scratches on her back.
I'll admit I was wrong. What else can I say, girl? Can't you blame my head and not my
I checked his phone. Sometimes you kind of get the urges to.
I was drunk, I was gone. That don't make it right, but promise there were no feelings involved.
He has this like blue, nice pea coat, but he comes home and I've been noticing these like long women's hairs stuck to it.
So she strips down, and while she's walking into the bathroom, I see something stuck to her. So I pull it off. I'm like, what the hell is this? You're f***ing Robert, I know it.
So my boyfriend was caught with second-degree burns from chocolate syrup that he was using to pleasure himself with.
We are rekindling our relationship.
I basically asked him out right in front of me. Like, we have to go out sometime.
My ex-boyfriend, he needed a place to live. You know, he can live in my snowmobile trailer.
It's my fault, but you gotta believe me when I say it only happened once.
What? I mean, this is crazy. Can we just have like a conversation like real people?
Are you schooling her?
You know what? Can you be a little bit more insecure? You know, this is
car!
She said, save your apologies. Baby, I just gotta know. How long has this been going on?
It's been a long time coming, and I'm sorry.
You're a piece of work. You know, you're a piece of work. Because what?
I'm a piece of work?
Believe that this is an ex-girlfriend. Just delete that.
You've been acting so shady. I've been feeling it lately.
You go all hang out with your slut brigade every...
Whoa, the slut brigade.
Okay, so then you're admitting it now. You're admitting it. Like, I caught you before and you were lying, and now you're admitting it.
And you're sending her roses instead of me?
She said, boy, tell me honestly, was it real or just for show?
She lied and said that her birth control didn't work, so she was already pregnant. So then they had sex without any protection. That's how she got
Ooh,
pregnant.
that's a dirty trick.
So she tricked him.
I'm sorry, is there any truth to this?
How long has this been going on? You've been creeping around on me.
Your husband put us up to this. Maybe you owe him an explanation.
Yep.
Trick a woman into saying things?
But we trick men too, to be fair. We're
trick
equal
men most of the
opportunity.
time.
Listen, I had to have sex with her. Like, listen, I had to save my job.
I've heard guys squirm on War of the Roses before. You are not even able to complete a full sentence.
I even my psychic had told me that we were soulmates and that, we would have a family. And I just know that this is the right guy.
Okay, well, you realize that sounds pretty psycho.
Shady.
KDWB's Dave Ryan Show is now on YouTube every morning starting at 7 a.m. Just search Dave Ryan TV.
What do we got on YouTube? We got some comments already on YouTube. If you want to comment back and forth, we're going to read some more comments from YouTube.
Yeah, Morningstar says, good morning. Tiny listeners over here, Avril, who's 5, and Anders, who's 3. Shout out to both of you.
Love that.
Someone says, not going to lie, I would marry Bailey in a heartbeat.
Somebody actually did say that. I can confirm she's not just making it up.
So.
You need to find out more about this person because you're getting more and more. You ain't getting any younger.
That's a fact.
And you're getting more and more desperate. I mean, you got to at least check into them. You know, you're on the radio. Take advantage of your position.
Yeah,
you got a position of power over men or whatever gender you decide to hook it up with.
I'm kind of busy right now, though.
You're not busy, though.
And I'm reading text messages, and, you know, I'm just kind of like bee-boo bopping. So
this is why you're
kind of busy right now. Kind of busy.
Also, shout out to Reagan, who's watching and listening from Forest Lake this morning on our YouTube live stream.
Thank you very much. It was 5 years ago. Either today or yesterday, people are debating, but I think it might have been today. 5 years ago today, we all saw the pandemic coming this way. It's like, oh my God, remember Tom Hanks was the first one to get
it.
And he was in Australia.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you know, and he's like, oh, I'm doing fine. I'm just in isolation with my wife, and I'm doing okay. And then it was like nursing homes in Seattle, and then you started to hear about people dying from the pandemic. And you're like, oh my God. And then there was stories coming out of New York. And it must have been fictionalized where it was like they're dying in the streets in New York. They're burying people in parks. Do you remember these stories?
No, I don't.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because I was in New Jersey, so I remember so many like friends and family that were going to New York. They were like, people are just dropping like flies. And then like some of the busiest places in New York, although albeit New York is busy in general, but like Grand Central Station and Times Square were crickets, empty.
Abandoned, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a nurse who was like wearing all the scrubs and the goggles and all that. She's like, the people are dying all around and I don't feel good. And I was like, oh my God, turned out she faked that whole thing just to get views. It was sickening. But we all dealt with the reality of what it meant, what we had to do. I remember we had a big meeting in the KDWB Sky Room, and our boss, Jeff, called everybody in, everybody from all the different radio stations, and it was kind of a somber little thing where he basically said, hey, we're all going to go home. If you're in sales, work from home. If you're on the radio, then we got a studio just for it. And for months, Fallon and I and Steve and Jenny were in separate rooms and never came. We had a panel of plexiglass between us when we came back in the studio. So what are some of your memories of the pandemic? Everybody has got one or two or more. I played a lot of Animal Crossing, probably 4 hours a day of Animal Crossing.
I just remember, obviously, like I remember losing my job. So I worked at a theater and I lost my job because no one was going to see theater.
Closed down,
everything
gyms,
closed down.
everything,
Yeah. And I do remember working my last day of retail before we kind of went on furlough as well, because I had a side job in retail, and just putting on so much hand sanitizer in that last like shift of retail before they closed it down. But then other than that, like the quarantine itself, like a couple of months where I just wasn't going to work, it was just me and my roommate, Daniela, shout out. And we would just drink Bloody Marys, watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and go on long walks.
You sound like you missed this time.
Well, it's a little bit nostalgic because I liked, hanging out with her and just kind of like bumming around and having a good time. Obviously, I don't like look back and be like, oh, I wish it was still that time again, because I am a person who likes to go out and do things, and there were no things to do. Yeah. So, but I did feel like all of my time off in my entire adult life, because I'm overworked, all of my time off came at once. When we went to quarantine, yeah.
Vaughn, what do you remember, like a powerful memory? Because there's so many, you could go on for a long time, but what's a powerful memory of quarantine and COVID?
I remember because there was so much uncertainty. It was my freshman year of college, which had just kind of ironically led into spring break. So spring break went from 1 week to 2 weeks to like an infinite amount of time. We were just off campus, and I had to go back to grab all my stuff. And I remember they had us in like a line to squirt hand sanitizer and all this stuff. And I think when we did that, my dad started feeling like antibodies or something, and we weren't sure what was going to happen. So he made all of us leave the house, and he was just stuck in the house by himself. And he was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if what's going to happen next.
Well, we really were given the impression that we were very possibly going to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I remember telling Carson, I said, hey, because he came home early from school, and he was in college in Boston, and I said, we are all going to know somebody who dies. Probably somebody on this street will die, because that's what we were being told. And we're not going to get into whether it was a fraud or not. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how it affected you. So let's get either on the phone or the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. I'd rather have your voice than read a text, but I'll read text messages too. What was your powerful COVID lockdown memory? Here's a couple of, I've got a bunch of these. We got married in Mexico on March 20th of 2020. Of about 36 guests we invited, about 20 of them came. It was a blast. It was fine with quarantine. I enjoyed being at home. I remember playing Animal Crossing with Dave during the beginning of the pandemic, because you can invite other people to your island. And so we did. My memory of the pandemic was taking edibles and playing RuneScape with my friend. Some are fun, some are like not so fun.
This one says, working at Caribou with our lobby closed. Honestly, it was a dream not having anyone allowed in. This person says, I was a new grad nurse and policies changing literally every day, reusing masks and asking family and friends to make fabric masks because the hospitals were out. I remember that too, where they're like, make
a masking
masks.
shortage.
Yeah.
And I remember some listeners made us masks and brought them. Somebody was so kind. They dropped it in my mailbox. I don't know how they found out where I live, but they put masks in my mailbox. So we got some talkbacks here. Let me play some of these. We're talking about the pandemic COVID lockdown basically started 5 years ago today. Let's say you have to decide. I don't know where that came from. Just your memories of what you did and what you remember from that time. Here are some talkbacks. Hello.
I am actually in New York, and my memory was that every day at 5, everyone would go out of their windows, would lean out of their windows and bang pots and pans together for all of the first responders, nurses, doctors, everyone who was helping keep people safe during that time. So that was a lovely, positive memory.
I remember one time they said, hey, if you're a musician, go out on your driveway today at 4 o'clock and play music. And so Carson was home, and I played the ukulele, so I got my amp. Carson, we set a snare drum and a cymbal up there, and he was so annoyed with me, and I said, no, we are going to play music in the driveway. And I got video of it.
I remember that.
So, do you remember that?
Yeah.
He was so annoyed.
He's like scowling the whole time.
And I was like, hey, and the neighbors were standing across the street cheering, and it was so cool. We got phone calls. Let's see what we got here. We're just trying to like go back to 5 years ago. Not that it was a happy time, but it's definitely something, if you live through it, you'll never forget it. Sharon, what do you remember about the COVID lockdown pandemic 5 years ago, Sharon?
So I was a teacher, and I was teaching kindergarten, and we were distance learning, and it was really, really, really hard because they're kindergartners, and they didn't have tablets.
Can't even imagine trying to get a kindergartner to pay attention on a tablet on distant learning.
Wasn't happening.
Yeah, so it was pretty awesome that we ended up, my co-teacher and I made all 46 Easter baskets for the kids and went around to all their houses, mapped out our route, and we dropped off Easter baskets for each one of our kids.
That
and got
is
to see them from the windows.
That
nice.
is
That's
so
cute.
beautiful. That is so cool. Sharon, good memory. Thank you very much. Dawn, what do you remember about COVID lockdown starting 5 years ago today?
First of all, everybody, of course, was trapped in their houses, basically.
Yep.
But I ended up getting COVID and ended up in the hospital, almost dying from it.
Oh, wow.
And it was very scary because my husband dropped me off at a big hospital. That's where they told him to take me. And then I ended up at Bethesda Hospital, and nobody could be with you at that time.
Yeah.
So you're so sick that you just, and you're trying to make decisions for yourself. It was just a really scary time for everyone.
And some people who, like you, got really sick, most of us, if we got it, we got like no symptoms or a few symptoms.
Oh, I had it bad.
Did you have it bad?
Yeah, I had it in September of 2020, and I was out for, like, I couldn't stand for too long because I would get winded just standing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
remember
rough.
Carson caught it at a Halloween party that year.
Of
and
course.
he was like, I don't know, he had a temperature and then he was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember the Star Tribune. I'll never forget a picture of a guy just in agony on the front of the Star Tribune in the hospital with COVID, and he later died.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there was so many people, we heard so much bad news that we were all like, okay, we're going to, most of us willingly did the whole lockdown thing because we didn't want to die. Lisa is on the phone. Lisa, good morning.
Good morning.
What do you remember about the pandemic 5 years ago this week, today?
Yeah, she turned 8, and it was the sweetest thing ever. The neighbors made a huge sign that they put in her yard.
You're talking about who? Your daughter?
My daughter turned 8 years old and said honk for Ashlyn's birthday.
Aww.
And it was the sweetest thing. And there was a big parade where all the neighbors drove around right by our house and honked. And it was so sweet. It's just, I love that there was such a community that came together over this time that was so hard.
Isn't that cool? Because I remember high schools didn't have graduation that year. They had a drive-through graduation.
Yeah, a lot of people are texting in that they had drive-by graduation or that they didn't get to, walk during graduation or anything. So it felt like they just didn't graduate.
We're going to read some messages on the YouTube channel as well. So if you want to just send in one there, we'll do a couple of more of these, and then we're going to do a flashback to a bit that we used to do during quarantine. But I remember it was Carson's birthday, April 1st. So a couple of weeks after the pandemic started, and everybody was like, oh, man, no birthday. So I reached out to everybody Carson ever knew in his life, including his scout leader, his buddies, even Ian Leonard over at Fox 9, who Carson always thought was funny. I don't think Ian's funny. I think it's an idiot. Ian, I love you, and you know that. But Carson always thought Ian was really funny, so Ian sent Carson a little video, and I put together a video of everybody wishing Carson a happy birthday.
That's nice.
I still have it somewhere.
Oh.
A couple of more. What do we got?
Some more text messages here. I'm a police officer, and my memory of 2020 was we still had to come to work and still keep policing, but there was nobody out, and it was honestly felt like a zombie apocalypse.
It did. You had to drive somewhere?
Yeah. There's no one around.
There was nobody
could make
around.
Record time everywhere.
I have a couple of talkbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a talkback.
Hi, this is Shelby from Maple Grove. During COVID, we actually lived in Oklahoma, but I really kind of miss, bittersweet, I guess. Obviously, I don't miss being stuck at home, but we used to have family Mario Kart time, and we would all just play Mario Kart racers on the Switch, and it was a good time.
That was like one of the good things, that you were just with your family all the time, so you could spend time that you didn't know you wanted to spend with your sisters or your siblings or your parents.
Well, it's true, and you were all locked at home, and I had to come into work every day. We couldn't do it. We didn't have the technology to do it right, so I come into work, but we were all separated. But I remember Carson was home doing DoorDash, and this kid couldn't care less about COVID. He wouldn't wear his mask, and he would put it on before he, whatever. And I would get so annoyed, and he'd come home, and I'd be like, don't touch me until you change your clothes and wash your hands.
Yeah.
But that's stupid.
Come on, Carson.
Yeah.
Jeez.
On the iHeart app. I mean, I'm not the iHeart app, on YouTube.
On YouTube, we've got, someone says that I came up from Rochester to drop my girlfriend off at MSP, and we were the only ones at the airport. It was quite eerie, and we had never seen anything like that before. Ooh. We got some more text messages, too. I'm a firefighter, and we would do drive-by parades for kids' birthdays. It was something new and special just for that time. Someone else says, I used to drink full bottles of wine every day. I honestly miss COVID early times when it was paused. Life was paused.
It was, in a way, if it wasn't scary, and it was scary for a lot of people, it was kind of a nice little break because you didn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go here or there or to church or travel or to the gym.
I have one more talk back. I think this one's a big memory everyone can relate to.
Okay.
We were driving back from a vacation in Missouri and hearing here in Minnesota that the grocery store shelves were bare, nobody could find toilet paper, and we were scared to come home to the unknowing.
You know what? Toilet paper shortage. Remember that? People would afford toilet paper.
I know.
And there was no real shortage, but people made a shortage. And I remember they'd be like, okay, there's toilet paper over at the Cub over in Plymouth on Highway 55 or whatever.
Go now.
Go now. And then somebody would call and go, yep, just got here. It's all gone. So I just got the last package.
Yeah, and you're like, well, so much for that.
I remember Steve Letart's wife. Steve was on the show back then. She was out at a grocery store trying to find toilet paper, and we had her on the phone. I think she was almost crying because she couldn't find any toilet paper. And we all thought the same thing, like the stores are going to be stripped bare of food.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
And it never got that bad. Isn't it funny how we worked ourselves up into a panic that in some ways I'm glad we all lived and stayed safe, but at the same time, there was no need for us to panic about food or toilet paper.
Right, about those things. I mean, not everybody lived and are fine. We're definitely lost a bunch of people because people are texting in saying like, oh, I lost this person, that person.
And that's what you got to remember. People are like, oh, it wasn't real. It's like, well, there's a whole lot of people that died from the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, let's go to the Dave Ryan vault and play a bit that you may remember during those weird days of COVID.
KDWB. And now, from the Dave Ryan Show vault.
Quarantina is still quarantined at home. Tina is our web girl, and she's kind of like socially, like she's one of the friendliest, kindest people in the building, but she also doesn't like going out. So quarantine is really good for her. The problem is she's kind of lonely in her apartment away from Gare Bear, her dad, is her favorite person. And I think it's her dad's birthday. So let's check in with Quarantina.
Isolated most her life. Doesn't like to go out at night. Her parents say, go live your life. She doesn't socialize. It's Quarantina.
Hey guys, it's me, Quarantina. 8 a.m. Today's the first day in a while the sun was bright enough to wake me up. It was super annoying. I miss the rain. 8:30. I've been starting my days lately by trying to write a poem. Here's today's. Roses are red. No one is blowing up my phone. Nothing new there. I'm pretty sure I'll always be alone.
Oh, God.
9:20. Fallon keeps talking about how she's motivated to work out in the mornings. Maybe I'll give it a shot today. 9:30. Never mind. I don't think morning workouts are for me.
Nah.
Actually, I think it's best if I just stay in bed for the rest of the day.
Heard that.
10:20. I've been craving a grilled cheese sandwich, but I'm still vegan, so I can't have one. 10:45. I've spent the last 15 minutes watching grilled cheese videos on YouTube while eating carrot sticks. If I concentrate hard enough, I can almost taste the cheese. 11:15. Everyone keeps talking about how excited they are to hang out in a group of 10 people. I wish I had 10 friends. I just have Jenny and my dad, Gare Bear. 11:20. Today's actually Gare Bear's birthday.
That's nice.
I think I'll text him and ask if we could meet up so I can treat him to lunch to celebrate.
Yeah.
11:35. I guess he's already hanging out in a group of 10 people, so there really isn't room for me to join. That's okay. I get that they don't want to break the rules.
Yeah.
Isolated most her life. Doesn't like to go out at night. Her parents say, go live your life. She doesn't socialize. It's Quarantina.
Good job, Tina. Bringing the room up every time. It's Quarantina on KDWB.
That was from the Dave Ryan Show vault on 101.3 KDWB.
A lot of people remember Quarantina. That's a flashback to 5 years ago. We were talking about COVID. Nobody ever talks about it anymore. Not really, because we got past it. We're really glad we got past it. But back then, it affected us in every way, where we worked, where we ate, what we did. And so that was Quarantina, a bit we did on the show. A lot of people say they remember it from back in the day. What is Tina up to today? She's engaged.
Yeah.
Hey.
She's happy and she's engaged and she's delightful and,
And
so
she
she's
said
doing well.
in that Quarantina bit that she'll probably be alone forever. So joke's on her.
Yeah,
right.
Just a couple of more text messages because we're going to move on in a second. But there's so many people that everybody has a memory. This is not one of those things like, tell us your favorite ride at Disneyland. Well, some people go like, I ain't never been to Disneyland.
Right.
But everybody has a story about the quarantine and COVID back in the day. Hand sanitizer. You couldn't get it anywhere. And remember, there was somebody who hoarded like a warehouse full of hand sanitizer.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And then they got arrested and they had to give it all away. Do you remember this?
I don't remember that. I do. I mean, I remember all the hand sanitizer bits, and then like breweries would make their own hand sanitizer because they had that like alcohol.
Oh, really?
Or distilleries would make their own.
You're right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I like this text because it's from a different angle. I painted my entire house, but also realized how much I was not compatible with my fiance, unrelated to the house painting. But it was a blessing in disguise. And I know a lot of people who were in long-term relationships who then broke up like during quarantine.
Because you realize you couldn't be around this person all the time. Oh, that's interesting.
Or the opposite, like someone else said in a text message, I had a relationship start no more than a month before the pandemic started. We stayed together through the whole thing. Definitely an interesting test of a relationship, but then we broke up a year later, which was also me and my boyfriend. We were like a quarantine couple, and then
which boyfriend was this?
The most recent one.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Got it.
And
that
so
guy.
We were we were the like quarantine couple, so we're like, oh, we enjoy each other's company so much. And then when things started, opening back up again, my life went back to normal, and then his was still, we're gonna stay inside all the time and do nothing. I'm like, well, we're different. But you don't notice it.
You don't notice it
until it changes completely. Yeah.
So, hey, thanks I wish I could read all these text messages.
There's so many.
But there's so many. Just something interesting to think about. Like, what were you doing during COVID at the lockdown? 5 years ago today is pretty much, I remember we had tickets for Imagine Dragons or Illumineers or something like that. And they were going to be at like the X, and Carson was like, let's go see the Illumineers. And I'm like, I don't care about the Illumineers, but let's go. And it was canceled. And actually, I was kind of glad I didn't have to go.
I like that you keep calling them the Illumineers.
Is that what they are?
No, they're the Lumineers.
I don't care. See, I don't care.
The Illumineers.
You can tell I didn't want to go to the show. And Carson's like, and I remember the ticket. We just, I think we got a refund on the tickets. I'm like, yes.
Heck yes.
Just a weird, like, random question. What did KDWB give away for all that time that there were no concerts?
Pat on the back.
I truly don't remember.
A coffee mug?
I don't think we gave away anything. Sheesh. But here's one other thing. We were all asked to give up 10% of our salary.
What?
Seriously. It's
really?
a true story. Because we gladly did it because people weren't advertising, because restaurants weren't advertising. Airlines weren't advertising.
Yeah.
Places that you go weren't advertising. So the income at the station, the revenue dropped. It was like, you wanted the radio station to stay open with the lights turned on. Will you take a 10% pay cut for a short time?
Wow.
And nearly everybody, and it was voluntary,
Yeah.
but nearly everybody said, I'd rather have the radio station be functional when we come back than have it shut down.
Wow,
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
That's neat.
All right. It is KDWB, and we're going to hear keyword for Kendrick and SZA right now.
Microphone check. 101.3 KDWB with your chance to see Kendrick Lamar and SZA April 19th at U.S. Bank Stadium. Just text the keyword STARS to 53921. That's STARS to 53921. A confirmation text will be sent. Standard message and data rates apply.
Okay, so go do that, STARS, STARS. Text that to KDWB 53921. We're getting down to the wire, you guys, because this Sunday is the last day for that. We're going to pick a winner and give out them tickets. I get an email with a problem. Teresa says, not my real name. I need help. My friend did a canvas painting of me and my boyfriend at Christmas. I look good, but my boyfriend, let's just say she did him dirty. It's bad. He doesn't have a chin or neck.
Oh, no.
And the painting makes him look much larger. She also gave him dark circles under his eyes, which is an insecurity that he already has.
Jeez.
So it's something she could have left off the painting, and definitely something he doesn't want to look at every day. Now, remember, this was a gift for Christmas from her friend. She said, I wasn't planning on hanging it up, but guess what? Now she's moving in with me in April for a few months because she's getting a divorce. That means I got to hang up the painting. She's the kindest person I know, so I feel awful that I hate the painting so much, but I'm wondering what to do about it. Do I have to hang it up or just hope she won't notice that it is nowhere to be seen? Any help is appreciated. I say, I'll leave it up to people who listen to the show.
Yeah.
Text me or call me at 651-989-KDWB or text at 53921 or leave a talk back and let us know whether she should hang the painting up or just hope her friend doesn't notice. I remember a friend of mine it was so awful, and they're so nice. They got me a painting of me and Josie, and they had a friend of theirs who's an artist do some awful painting of me and Josie, and I got it, and I looked horrible, and there's no way I was going to hang it up. I threw it in the trash. Because I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. That's the worst, I think.
There's a friend that would never come over. They don't come to the house. They live in another state. And I got it. It was awful. I threw it away. And they're like, oh, where'd you do that with painting? And I said, it's in my office. Yeah, it's in my office. Oh, great. And I kept hoping they'd never ask for a picture of me hanging it up. Threw it in the trash. What should they do? Should they hang it up while the friend comes over? Or should they toss it in the trash and just hope it doesn't come up? Let us know.
The Dave Ryan Show, 101.3 KDWB.
Quick Dirt update brought to you by Heimer and Lammer's injury law 612 injured. Justin Bieber apparently got hair plugs because his receding hairline that he hasn't shown the world in years because he's been wearing a beanie or a hoodie is now all the way down to where a hairline would normally be. He's 31 years old. And men lose their hair proportionate to their age. So in other words, if you are 30, you have a 1 in 3 chance of having hair loss. If you are 50, you have a 50% chance.
Oh.
If you are 90 years old, you'll have a 90% chance of having hair loss.
So is your hair a toupee?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people know that mine's a toupee because there's a little tag over here. Can you see it?
I see it.
It says dry clean only.
Yeah.
Just in case you ever want to return it.
I see sometimes it flaps in the wind, so I just wondered.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson says she doesn't do social media. And if you see her out in public, she's down at the IHOP, and you go, oh, can I get a picture with you? She'll say no.
Oh.
And she'll say, because I'm doing my own thing. I respect that. And people would say, you know what? You'd be nowhere if it wasn't for your fans. You know what? Let somebody go to the freaking post office without you bothering them for a picture. You know?
Yeah.
Not really.
Vaughn, you have a different opinion?
I just feel like, yes, it is bothersome, but you're also a celebrity. You kind of sign up for people to, bother you. We talked about this a lot with Chappell Roan whenever she just didn't like the new things of fame, but that's kind of part of the package.
I would say it's hard to put up with all the garbage that people will write about you and post about you and you're washed up and you're horrible and you're ugly, whatever. I think but if I were to see Scarlett Johansson at the IHOP and she's over there with her kids or her sister having pancakes, I wouldn't be like, Susan, I'm going to go say hi, get a picture. I'd be like, let Scarlett Johansson enjoy her pancakes.
I would just take a very covert picture in secret. And that's what I would do. But I wouldn't walk up to her and be like, excuse me.
But there are definitely people who
100%.
There's a story, and I'll tell the story again. Kirby Puckett was one of the most beloved celebrities in Minnesota. And we were talking about him one day, and somebody wrote in or called in and said, he's a jerk. And I'm like, Kirby? He's a jerk?
What?
Yeah. We were at Cucumbers one time in Edina, and he was eating dinner, and I sent my kid over to get an autograph, and he said no. And I said, wait a second. Kirby Puckett was having dinner with his family. You sent your rotten, snot-nosed kid over there to get an autograph? Yeah, he owes us. No, he doesn't.
He doesn't owe you anything.
And then, so they thought Kirby was a jerk.
Though I feel like, so if Scarlett Johansson, though, was doing a meet and greet and someone said, can I get a picture with you? And she said no, that would make her bad. Not bad, but, that's annoying.
Sure, for a meet and greet, absolutely.
But I guess, if you walk up to her and she's not planning on it, I don't know. I don't mind when people's like, Bailey, me?
Well, nobody wants a picture with you.
Sometimes
that never
they
happens.
do.
You walk into a room and go, you know that I'm Bailey from the Dave Ryan Show. And people are like, yeah, I don't listen to your show.
And I say, why not? It's great.
Okay. Let's get some answers to the question. So somebody wrote in and they said, okay, Christmas time, my friend drew or painted a painting of me and my boyfriend. I look fine, but they did him dirty. He looks fat. He's got dark circles under his eyes. He doesn't look good. We don't want to hang it up. We didn't hang it up. Problem is, guess what? She's getting a divorce. She's moving in April in another couple of weeks. Do we hang the painting up? What do we do? Let's hear what you think. And do you have a story? Maybe your aunt bought you some god-awful Christmas sweater, and you're like, thanks, Aunt Midge. And then you, put it in your donations bin, and she comes over. She's like, where's that sweater? And you're like, What do we got?
Yeah, we've got lots of texts that say you should just put it up until the friend leaves and then trash it. A lot of people say accidentally damage it so then you don't have to hang it up.
Oh, no.
Or say like, oh, my cat scratched it up or something. But this person goes one step further here. If the friend says anything about the painting not being hung up, she should say, oh, my gosh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Unfortunately, it accidentally fell off the wall and the frame broke. So we had to send it in to get reframed.
Not for a minute.
I think it'd be funny if someone's like, oh, I don't know how these darts got into the painting.
Here is a talk back with some more answers.
I think because I'm too much of a people pleaser, I would hang it up somewhere where I don't have to look at it all the time, like maybe a guest room or in the basement. So it's still there, but not there.
I gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying put it in the guest room that she's staying in, so she'll see it, but you won't.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's, it's like it's hanging it up. At least it's acknowledging the whole thing.
I would just ask why, like, was this intentional? Do you not like my husband? Like, how did you do me so perfect and then he just looks like a slob?
I've always hated him.
Ooh. I think that painting is one of those things like singing. Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
You can think you're a great singer and you're not really a great singer because nobody wants to tell you you're not a great singer.
Mm-hmm.
So when you sing, people will go, oh, wow.
Good job.
Good job. And they'll be like, yeah, see, everybody loves me. It's the same with painting. If you paint something, and like Fallon's a good painter. When I was like, where did you get this? Where does this ability come from? Is she world class? Probably not world class, but she's good. She's really good.
Yeah.
So people really enjoy her paintings. But I know somebody whose friend is a painter. They're not very good, but they charge and they have painting parties where they come over. It's like jewelry parties. Come to my house, drink some wine, buy some of my art. So they go to their house and they have to spend on, like $50 for a little painting of a butterfly. They don't want, but they feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obligated to buy something.
When I worked back in retail, I had a coworker who painted something for every single person that we worked with for Christmas. And bless their heart, not a great painter, but really loves doing it. So we were also thrilled, oh, thank you so much. My painting has been leaning up against a wall, in my closet. I can't see it because it's not cute.
I feel too guilty to throw it out, but it would just sit in the closet.
Yeah.
Because I'm not putting it up. Sorry.
Also, no one would want it. Not that it's because it's a bad painting, but this person painted something specific for each person. So it's specific to us.
What did they paint for you?
A cat wearing a little Disney costume.
I have never heard of anything more Bailey in my life.
Right, exactly, which is why they painted it. But then it's just I'll just keep this right here.
I love it. All right. Hey, anything you got on your mind, you want to send an email and have us help you figure it out, we would be happy to do that. It is KDWB. Vaughn going to stir that pot coming up in a couple of seconds. Remember, you ain't never more than 30 minutes away from Kendrick and SZA tickets on KDWB.
I was in a sheer dress.
Enemas.
What?
I'm trying to get your attention.
I've been attentive.
You have it.
Enemas. Hemorrhoids. No, what's embarrassing to buy? We're doing brackets on this one. March is the month of brackets. It's KDWB. You're never more than 10 minutes, 30 minutes away from Kendrick and SZA tickets. But we're doing brackets, and Enemas is probably going to win, except there's one other category. How are we doing with the brackets on Dave Ryan Show Instagram?
So we're down to the last four. We got head lice treatment versus enemas. And yes, enemas is slowly paving the way with 52% of the vote.
I would not be embarrassed for head lice treatment at all because I never had them.
Oh, you've never had lice?
Me neither.
I don't think so. No.
Oh.
Most kids do. It's not embarrassing. It's like annoying, but not really embarrassing.
That is a kid and an adult.
Yeah, I don't know how yesterday it beat laxatives. I feel like laxatives is much more embarrassing than head lice treatment.
So. Yeah,
but here we are. But yeah, so enema is beating head lice treatment, and then adult toys versus Prep H, and of course adult toys is landslide beating that one.
I think most people will buy them through the mail.
Yeah.
And then it says discreetly packaged.
Discreetly packaged.
So it doesn't say giant adult toy on
You
the
sure?
side.
It doesn't come with like a big old light there's an arrow pointing to it?
Yes. Congrats on your new big old thing.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you buy something like that down at CVS and the woman behind the counter is like, well, have a good time tonight. You're like, okay.
All right, I will. Thanks.
Or they're just like, oh, I know this one's a good one. Like, I don't need your recommendation. I don't need your recommendation, ma'am.
Go vote on Dave Ryan Show on the Instagram or the basically embarrassing items to buy. And we have the brackets go until Friday. Right now, though, let's see what's on Vaughn's mind. It's Vaughn Stirs the Pot. What do you got going on?
We briefly said this yesterday, and so I want to dive into it because I agree that the Beatles is a very overrated band. I think that they are way overhyped. I think they're honestly one of those groups that you have to like.
You have
I'll let
to
you
like?
continue. I don't agree with you, but I'm going to let you continue before I interrupt.
I think it's like one of those, who else would I put in there? I just feel like the Beatles they're well respected, and I do think they have good songs, but nobody's just getting in the car one day and saying, oh, I want to listen to that Beatles.
My uncle.
No, that's not happening. The Beatles want to, Here Comes the Sun. That's cute at the end of a movie. But other than that, you're not listening to the Beatles.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. What do you want to say? Because you want to fight me.
The Beatles are proof that God exists.
No.
Yeah, because Paul McCartney and John Lennon wrote some of the most, I would say, miraculous compositions of our recent time. Just some of the songs, if you think of the Beatles of like Here Comes the Sun, that was George Harrison, and that was fine. But you look at songs like Penny Lane, you look at songs like Let It Be, Hey Jude, Maxwell's Silver Hammer. I can go, Yesterday was probably the most beautiful song ever composed, or like a pop song ever composed. So the Beatles, they didn't just, compose like, hard rock songs like Back in the USSR. They also did beautiful songs like The Long and Winding Road. And if you don't know that, and you don't think the Beatles are good, it's because you don't know what all they wrote. I mean, their catalog it's vast. It's like they were so iconic that artists are still influenced by them today.
I don't think they're not good. Like the Beatles is cool. They have some good songs. They have a couple of hits.
Thanks for admitting that.
They have a couple of hits. I just think they're overrated. I think it's like one of those bands that you're just supposed to respect. Like Rolling Stone, that's another one.
Rolling Stones, I think, are overrated. I think their music is like, it sounds like a garage band to me. I don't like the Rolling Stones, but I respect that some people do like the Rolling Stones. But the Beatles have a million songs, from very melodic ballads to hard rock songs to poppy songs. And you can't overrate the Beatles. You cannot rate them highly enough. That's my opinion.
No. You're not getting in the car and saying, oh, I want to listen. You're not.
Yeah, absolutely you are.
What song are you turning on? Are you getting in the car and turning on and jamming to it?
Penny Lane, for example.
No.
Yeah. What do you mean no?
You're not bumping the Beatles ever. On a road trip, you're going to turn on the Beatles?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Look, man.
Font being like, no.
I'm just saying. And I want you to text. Somebody just did. Somebody texted 53921. The Beatles are a complete snooze fest and overrated.
Yeah, people are texting in and supporting you, Avant. They say culturally they're so important, but musically overrated as heck. Or this person said, Vaughn, I've always said the same thing. The Beatles are so overrated. People tell me, but for the time it was edgy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fair enough. But no.
And that's fine if you think that way. I mean, you're never going to talk me into liking, I don't know. You can talk about Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that you love Beyonce. I think Beyonce is overrated.
I agree.
But okay. But I don't think the Beatles can be rated highly enough because they didn't just write poppy songs. They wrote amazing, timeless songs.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard A Day in the Life by the Beatles? It is probably the greatest Beatles song ever composed.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know like everyone has their favorite Beatles song, and I don't know. I feel like I'm Sweden in this situation. I'm in the middle here because I understand the importance of the Beatles culturally, and they were very significant at the time socially as well. But I also don't really go out of my way to listen to the Beatles just because the sound of their voices, I'm just kind of like, But there are
Paul
songs that I
McCartney
do
has
like.
the voice of an angel. Are you
I know,
kidding?
but it's just like, I don't know, the way that they all sound together makes me a tiny bit uncomfy.
A very tight 3-part harmony.
But someone did text in coming for me saying Elvis was overrated, and I'm going to actually fight them. So, but probably the same vibe too.
Yeah,
like,
I feel the
of
same
time.
with
Elvis is also proof that God existed.
No, I agree.
Because Elvis's songs were amazing for its time. Now, see, you and I, none of us were around back then, so we don't realize what an impact he had.
Mm-hmm.
But not only was he talented, had an amazing voice, the songs were great, but he was a gorgeous, gorgeous creature. So
most
that
beautiful.
is proof he could have looked like a stump.
A stump?
And that would have been very unfortunate, and he would have never been Elvis. But because he was so bangable that it's proof that God exists. Same way the Beatles.
Vaughn text message says, I used to feel the same way until I actually listened to the Beatles music, not just the 5 popular ones that Vaughn is talking about. I'm officially triggered.
No, I've tried before, and it's like I'm not saying they're bad. It's just overrated. It's not worth like I've seen so many articles that say they're the greatest band of all time. Cap, lies.
Well, then who's the greatest band of all time?
I don't know. I'm not. I don't have that answer. I just don't think the Beatles is up there.
The Lumineers. Shut up, Dave.
Dave was calling the Lumineers like 10 minutes ago, and he just kept saying it confidently. And on our YouTube Live, somebody said Coldplay. Throw them in the conversation. Overrated.
Okay.
Oh, I thought they were going to say the best band.
I don't think Coldplay is overrated. Chris Martin's a great songwriter. That's the key. If you can write songs, you'll be around a long time. The Beatles, they wrote amazing songs. A lot of pop stars, they fade away because as they get older and less marketable, they don't get the best songwriters anymore. So that's why the Backstreet Boys blew up, because they had great songwriters. And then as they got older, they didn't have the songwriters anymore. That's why the Backstreet Boys don't have hits anymore.
I wonder, can't something just be regular rated? Not overrated, not underrated, just
moderately
rated fine.
rated?
If you want it to be, yeah.
It's just rated fine. I feel like the Beatles are just fine. They're rated fine. They're appropriately rated.
I'm surprised with how many people are texting agreeing, but if you want to keep the conversation going, because people always send me videos like, this is why this is blah, blah, blah. My Instagram is @VauntLeak. I'd love to go back and forth.
Nice.
I mean, we could go on with this a long time, but we've got to move on to more important things, like being at Dave & Buster's coming up on Friday night. We're going to be there from 4 until 6 in the afternoon, and we'd love to have you come by. So that's the grand reopening of the Edina location in Southdale Mall. We're all going to be there. Hopefully, Jenny will feel back to coming back to work, and she'll be there too. We're playing games. We're drinking alcohol. We're eating burgers and chicken strips and things like that, and salads, if you whatever it is. And we're playing video games at Dave & Buster's. I'm very excited about it because I love Dave & Buster's. So if you want to go, we will see you there on Friday. You're never more than you're only a couple of minutes away right now from your Kendrick and SZA tickets on 101.3 KDWB. Somebody just texted in, Teddy Swims is proof that God exists. Because I said that a little while ago. I said the Beatles are proof that God exists. And the fact that John Lennon and Paul McCartney met each other, the greatest songwriting duo of all time, is proof that God exists. Also proof that God exists, the dog. The dog. Because
true.
the dog is your friend, and you don't even have to be rich or poor or sick or healthy or anything, and your dog will love you no matter what. Proof that God exists.
I like that.
What else was proof that God? Elvis. No,
Elvis.
Cats, maybe.
Oh,
Elvis was proof that God exists too. Yeah.
Praise be.
And the
French
Egg
fries.
McMuffin. No, well, I was going to say the Egg McMuffin, but French fries is a candidate as well. What is your proof that God exists, Vaughn?
The pork chop.
Pork chop, then. It's a good one right there.
Nice.
And then I would throw the fire extinguisher in right after that one. Because not only does it put out fires, but if you just have it on your belt buckle, you can whack somebody with it.
Your belt buckle. Good luck to your pants.
Okay.
It's right next to my like the thing you put to hold your phone.
What?
I don't get it. All right, it's KDWB on the Dave Ryan Show. What is on your radar? We do this once a week. We find something that's kind of cool, like a show. I will give you one that I am watching right now. It's not anything new. It's the new. It'll come to me in a second. It's the one that Jennifer, what's her face, was in. The Annoying Island.
Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, White Lotus?
White Lotus,
There you
thank
go.
you. Watching the new season of White Lotus. That's on my radar, but that's kind of on everybody's radar. So I'll give you an Instagram that I have found.
Very
it's
nice.
called Wedding Clips. Wedding Clips on Instagram, and it's all about people passing out of the wedding, fights at the wedding, things going wrong, tipping over the tiered cake at the wedding. It's all funny clips. It's called Wedding Clips. Some are sweet, some are ridiculous. Wedding Clips on my radar on Instagram.
Mine on my radar this week is the Up North Cat Condo, which is a 24/7 live stream of outdoor cats from, I think it's Frazee, Minnesota. And they have like a little YouTube channel. It's just under Up North Cat Condo with a 24/7 live stream. And you can just look at the little cats in this tiny little hut that they've created for them with little glass windows. And when it's nighttime, you can see them in there just like boo-bopping around. And they've got a little outside patio. It's so stinking cute. And I have it open all the time just so I can check in on the cats.
It's very Bailey.
It's so cute.
Okay.
On my radar it's Minnesota's first dirty soda shop. When you say dirty, I thought it was liquor, but they have different flavors. Like me and Alyssa got one last night, the 1979. It has vanilla, fresh lime, and coconut cream mixed with Pepsi. They have coconut pineapple, coconut cream. You could do blue raspberry, vanilla, raspberry puree, all these different flavors.
You went last night too?
Yeah, yesterday.
What'd you get?
I just told you the 1979.
I thought you were just talking about it. Okay.
No, it's good. It's in Maple Grove, and they have the pebble ice, like the small ice they have at Chick-fil-A, which makes it 10 times better.
Okay, on our radar, it can be a book or a show or a restaurant or whatever. Mine is Wedding Clips on Instagram. It's just funny. They're short, very short clips of weddings gone bad.
Mine is the Up North Cat Condo, which is a 24/7 live stream on YouTube of these little cats in a little condo.
And mine is Minnesota's first dirty soda shop. It's called Soda, SOTA. It's in Maple Grove.
Okay, check them out on our radar this week.
Microphone check. 101.3 KDWB with your chance to see Kendrick Lamar and SZA April 19th at U.S. Bank Stadium. Just text the keyword HUMBLE to 53921. That's HUMBLE to 53921. A confirmation text will be sent. Standard message and data rates apply.
Okay, make sure you do that. If you've been doing it, great. If you're just doing it for the first time, it's kind of like buying one lottery ticket, so try to do it more often. Remember, you're never more than 30 minutes away from another keyword to win those tickets. So go text that keyword, HUMBLE, HUMBLE, and text it to KDWB1. That's 53921. We'll be right back with the Daily Bailey on 101.3 KDWB. What are we going to talk about on the Daily Bailey?
Well, today I'm going to talk about this wonderful thing. If you knew you were going to die tonight, what would you have as your last meal?
Way to bring the room down.
Hey, listen up, okay? Let me live my life.
I wouldn't really have an appetite if I knew I was going to die tonight. I'll be honest with you. If they ever said, Dave, you're going to be executed tomorrow at dawn, what would you like for your last meal? Lobster tail, spaghetti with meatballs? I'd be like, not really that hungry.
Okay, well,
I get it, though. I'll play along.
Maybe I'll change the beginning of the question to be less morbid.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do it next. Think about it. What would your last meal be if you were going to die tonight?
Bring back Jenny.
Bring back Jenny.
This is my segment.
Bring back Jackson.
Yes,
We'll
that
be right
guy.
back on KDWB.
101.3. 101.3.
KDWB.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming back live Monday, March 17th on Fox.
Celebrating the music and artists you've loved on iHeartRadio over the past year and giving you an exclusive first look at the biggest new songs coming in the summer of 25.
And here's your iHeart Awards performer lineup. Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish,
Glorilla, Gracie Abrams,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly,
and your host, LL Cool J.
Are you guys ready to have some fun tonight?
Plus iHeart Innovator Award recipient Lady Gaga.
And iHeart Icon Award recipient Mariah Carey.
Our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards from the Dolby Theater in Hollywood.
Watch live on Fox Monday, March 17th, starting at 8 p.m.
And listen right here on your radio and the free iHeartRadio app.
From the Custom One, MN.com Weather Center.
Twin Cities weather, we are watching a system that could bring scattered thunderstorms late Friday and Friday night. Rain Saturday, eventually rain changing to snow late Saturday into Sunday. It's going to be really windy too, but until then, it's going to be nice. Today, sunshine, 57 tomorrow. Partly cloudy, 65. We're talking low 70s by Friday. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 33.
This report is sponsored by Rasmussen University.
At Rasmussen University, we offer a full suite of nursing programs from pre-licensure to doctoral, online and on campus. Programs vary by campus. Learn more at rasmussen.edu/Minnesota.
In business as in life, having a focused vision is important, as long as that focus doesn't blind you to other things. At Wedding Day Diamonds, we're focused on diamond engagement rings, and that focus has helped us recreate the way engagement rings are sold, making the whole process easy, fun, and stress-free. Yes, we're focused, but we're not blind. We know that your life is full of other important days, birthdays, graduations, anniversaries, childbirths, and countless other occasions that you want to commemorate. That's why Wedding Day Diamonds has a fashion jewelry boutique inside every one of our stores. There you'll find a treasure trove of beautiful, fashionable, and affordable jewelry. Pendants, earrings, bracelets, and more, starting at under $150. Fine jewelry that will mark any occasion as special. And every piece comes with our exclusive lifetime, no fine print warranty, so you know it will last. When the occasion calls for something extraordinary, think of Wedding Day Diamonds. And remember, we're not just for weddings anymore. Come to Wedding Day, where diamonds is our last name.
Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com, a single, seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, even refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com today. Rocket, own the dream.
Calling all hockey fans. It's your last chance to experience the NCHC Frozen Face-Off at XL Energy Center. Celebrate the end of an era on March 21st and 22nd with tons of fan-friendly fun and excitement.
My son lives out in Las Vegas. He's 23. The most he keeps a job is for maybe 6 months. All of a sudden he has money. And I'm thinking, well, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
Last time I saw him, he had a brand new phone. Then he just got a new BMW 2 Series. So I went out with my friend for dinner the other night, and she kind of jokingly said, oh, he must be a gigolo. And I'm thinking, a what?
Now that's a big leap, because I don't think that any parent would like to think that their kid is a gigolo. Is a gigolo.
A gigolo, that's just a male prostitute, correct?
It's a polite word or a different word for a male prostitute.
Okay, because I always just think of somebody wearing the whole, but maybe I'm thinking of a pimp in the outfit with the hat.
I was thinking about Nick Cannon's song, I'm a gigolo. That's what I was really thinking.
There was a whole show on gigolos in Vegas that I used to watch.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was on Showtime, like, I don't know, 10-ish years ago.
How do you ask if your son or if anybody is a gigolo? Like, do you just straight up say it, or is that offensive? Or
Well, I don't think you would ever tell your mom that you are.
Yeah, I'm thinking of saying, like, so how are you getting this money? My son
To 323232 right now to see if you qualify. A new study has uncovered evidence linking Depo-Provera use to the development of brain tumors, and emerging lawsuits allege that manufacturers of Depo-Provera knew the risks for decades but failed to warn people of the potential harm. If you or a loved one used Depo-Provera or other prescription birth control shots and were later diagnosed with brain tumors or intracranial meningioma, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Text BON to 323232. Don't wait. Time to file a claim is limited. Text the word BON to 323232. If you or or a loved one developed brain tumors after using Depo-Provera, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Text ON to 323232. ON to 323232.
They said that building an outdoor kitchen bigger than your indoor kitchen would be crazy. But when you consider all the possibilities of a TrueStone Financial home equity loan with an APR as low as 5.74% and for a limited time, no closing costs, well, the sizzling burgers on that built-in grill, they say otherwise. A TrueStone home equity loan is flexible financing for just about everything, even outdoor kitchens. It's true, because we're TrueStone. Get cooking at truestone.org. Terms and conditions apply. Closing cost offer not valid with competing offers or promotions. Equal housing opportunity.
Spring's calling and Burlington's answering. I go there to refresh everything in my closet and home. No guilt either, because at Burlington, I'm getting deals on brands I love, new fashions, hot trends, and decor my guests will fuss over. Oh, and Easter. Burlington has excellent savings up to 60% off other retailers' prices every day. The deals are in the air at Burlington. You better be there too. Burlington. Deals, brands, wow. Styles and selections may vary.
Jurassic Quest is back for 3 days only. See life-sized animatronic dinosaurs, including Velociraptor, Triceratops, the massive T-Rex, and so many more. Interact with walking dinos and baby dinos. Experience incredible dinosaur rides, giant fossil digs, inflatables, the fossil science exhibit, and more. Don't miss the largest and most realistic dinosaur event on tour at Minneapolis Convention Center this weekend only. Tickets are flying fast. Use promo code SAVE20 to save 20% when you buy at JurassicQuest.com.
How will you feel after you sell your house? Horrible because you spent months cleaning, juggling contractors, and negotiating with buyers? Or great because you got a guaranteed cash offer and it took minutes instead of months? Feel great tomorrow. Go to chrislindahl.com today and start packing.
Certain restrictions apply.
Ladies, Arthur's Jewelers Spring Ring Event, March 18th through the 22nd. Shop wedding bands and engagement rings, and you pay no sales tax.
From the 612 Injured, Heimer and Lammers Injury Law Traffic Center.
On 94, we have delays westbound Johnson Parkway to 35E, eastbound tight Plymouth to Hennepin Lindale, 494 heavy westbound 24th Avenue to 35W. 35W with the crash northbound at Cliff in the left lane. It's tight from the Burnsville split. I'm Maria Arnold, and that's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guaranteed, and new customers get $100 to switch. Don't miss the boat. Book an appointment with experts today. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hey guys, it's Gwen Stefani. Celebrate Women's History Month with iHeartRadio by exploring playlists with fierce female artists to thought-provoking podcasts on women's empowerment.
Plus, listen as we honor these trailblazers on Women's History Month Radio. Just search Women's History Month and listen now. Join iHeartRadio, Gwen Stefani, and many more amazing women in celebrating the strength, resilience, and talent of women everywhere.
Let's make history together.
You can do more than listen on KDWB. You can watch The Dave Ryan Show. Just go to YouTube and search Dave Ryan TV.
Oh, yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, check us out on YouTube. We most of the time we wash our hair and put product in.
Yeah.
So you can watch us on YouTube TV, or YouTube Dave Ryan TV. Right now, it is the Daily Bailey. Let's do it.
Okay, before the break, I had initially asked the question, if you knew you were going to die tonight, what would be your last meal? But it was a little morbid, so I've changed the wording here.
What are you wording?
If you were shooting off into space to live on a new planet with new cuisines, what would you have as your last meal here on Earth before blasting off?
Ooh. God, there's so many choices. I would say my favorite food ever is pizza.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of ordinary. So I'm going to go off the board and do king crab legs with a ribeye steak.
Yum. That sounds
I'm also going to do
so delicious.
I'm going to do broccoli, but it's going to asparagus, a little crispy with a little olive oil on there, a little crispy.
Ooh.
I eat asparagus like French fries.
I love asparagus.
Mm-hmm. And then probably mashed potatoes and gravy.
Ooh, that sounds really delicious. You're
Yeah.
going to get super full.
I'm good with it.
But you're going to be on a rocket ship. So
what
it
about
makes
you?
sense.
What are you going to eat?
When you said pizza, at first I was like, okay, yeah, pizza is pretty basic. But if it was like a fun, interesting pizza, like pineapple Spam pizza with like bacon on it or something,
sure,
that sounds delicious. But also like steak, obviously tried and true. I love McDonald's French fries. I know Vaughn does not like McDonald's French fries, but I would be remiss if I passed up McDonald's French fries
As your last meal before you blast off into space.
Well, I want to get all the stuff that you had, multiple sides
that's
here.
Fine. Yeah,
and then potentially, ice cream, maybe Moose Tracks ice cream as my dessert before I walk onto the
Are you
rocket
trying to get
ship.
Temps to send over more ice cream?
I mean, they could if they wanted to.
They're right next door.
I love Moose Tracks so much. Vaughn, what would be your last meal before you blasted off into space?
Yeah, it wouldn't be McDonald's trash fries like you or vegetables like Dave. I'd probably go hibachi style. I want like a thing of steak, chicken, and what's the other one? Shrimp.
Oh, shrimp.
And shrimp. And then I want some fried rice with soy sauce smothered in there. But then I want the guy at the hibachi restaurant to do all the tricks with the knives and shoot the sake in my mouth. I want the whole hibachi experience right before I go to whatever other planet I'm headed to.
Yeah, we're probably headed to Mars or Uranus.
Yeah, you're headed there next.
Someone did text in saying that probably a better way to phrase the question is, how about you're rescued from a desert island? What would be your first meal? Though, then at that point, I think I would be super thirsty. So I would want like an ice cold Diet Coke where it's like the McDonald's Diet Coke because that's the better kind.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
What about you? Something to think about. You're giving us lots of thought-provoking material on the show today. What did you do? Because COVID started 5 years ago today. What are your memories of COVID? That was an interesting topic. Whether the Beatles are overrated, that was food for thought. Then we talked about what artists are overrated. Some people said Prince. Some people said Taylor Swift. Said Beyonce was another one. And then you get into what's your last meal before you blast off into space.
Yeah.
We're full of thought-provoking content.
We
on
are.
the show
We're on a
today.
roll.
This text, Dave, says that your space capsule is going to smell like asparagus pee. So,
did you know that is like a genetic thing? Some people eat asparagus and their pee doesn't smell like
really?
asparagus. Yeah.
Does yours not?
No, mine does.
Okay,
yeah.
mine does too. And then also, if you eat too many beets, your pee turns purple.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Now I want to try it. Are you serious?
Yeah, you eat like a plate full of beets.
This is a great bit.
Yeah.
This is a great social experiment.
No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat a bunch of beets.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to pee and go, Susan!
It has to be like obviously the red purple beets.
Yeah, yeah,
And
the pickle beets.
I
They're
used to
pickled
eat
ones, aren't
those a ton, and yeah, it terrified me the first time I peed, and it was
God,
purple.
I didn't have anything planned for this afternoon. Now I got an afternoon full of beets and Susan!
I think it's funny because Susan probably would be like, whatever. Like, she just wouldn't care.
Why are you doing this?
What about you? What would be your last meal? This text says at 53921, all dive bar food, buffalo wings, and nachos and jalapeno peppers.
Yes.
And then Chris in down in Shakopee texts in and says, Bailey, you're so right. McDonald's Diet Coke is the best.
It is. They put the cold stuff, the ice up,
syrup?
the syrup.
Yeah, thank
in
you.
the in the fridge. The syrup
That's
is
right.
in the
I
fridge.
called the Illumineers the Illumineers. The Illumineers. All
Ooh,
right.
I'm going to throw a Shamrock Shake into my mix.
Nice.
Shamrock Shake with my hibachi.
Okay, fine. What about you? You're never more than 10 minutes now. No, you're never more than 30, but now it's about 10 minutes away from your next keyword. And I just want to make sure that you have some urgency in this one because I don't want you to miss out on your chance to win these tickets. So be here in another 10 minutes. We'll have those for you. We'll be back in a second with You Can't Make This Stuff Up. Drinking statistics. A lot of people drink and go, is this normal? And am I drinking too much? I'm going to break it down by ages. I'm going to break it down by different things, men and women, how much people will admit to drinking. Because if you've been drinking a bottle of wine a night, you're going, is this normal? We'll find out. We'll do it next on 101.3 KDWB.
From the Custom One, MN.com Weather Center.
Twin Cities weather, we are watching a system that could bring scattered thunderstorms late Friday and Friday night. Rain Saturday, eventually rain changing to snow late Saturday into Sunday. It's going to be really windy too, but until then, it's going to be nice. Today, sunshine, 57 tomorrow. Partly cloudy, 65. We're talking low 70s by Friday. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Right now, it's 31.
This report is sponsored by Fantastic Sam's.
From playful blondes to rich brunettes, FS Cut and Color is your go-to for any shade. Our expert stylists tailor each color, giving you a look you'll love at a price you'll adore. Walk in today or book online at fantasticsams.com. FS, your destination for color.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it to keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Why Wedding Day Diamonds? Well, because they change with the times. A lot of old stuffy jewelers have the same 50 or 60 engagement rings in their case, and that's it. Wedding Day has thousands of ring designs, all basically trading stories from the holidays. Kind of like when you come back to work with your coworkers, you're trading stories like, oh, Jill, what did you do on vacation? Or, Max, what did you do on vacation? So Bailey's sister did something that we need to discuss, but I'm not going to bring it up.
Okay. No, I can bring it up.
Yeah.
So I think this is what happened. I didn't ask her directly, but my sister got news over the break that her cat that she's had for years and years and years, she's like 16 years old, that she had cancer, some kind of like liver cancer. I don't know what it is. So she found that out because she sent like a group text to my family to tell us about her cat. And then the next few days, and this was before like school was out, but she was clearly not going to work, like, because she was available during the day. I was like, are you not at work right now? And she'd be like, no. So I think she took time off of work to be upset about her cat passing away, even though her cat hasn't died yet. She's just sick. So they have this cat on like medication and everything. But to me, like if my cat died, I would probably take the day off that my cat died.
Yeah.
But her cat didn't die, just got bad news, and then she took off significant amount of time to like be upset about it, and I don't know if that's normal or not.
Now that is a little bit weird to me.
Yeah.
And
so, but because you said when I brought it up to you that if Josie died, you would take the day off.
Oh, I would absolutely take a day off. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not going to come into work. I mean, she's my girl.
Right.
I've had her for 16 years.
And I totally get like, wanting to mourn your pet on the day or like the day after you have to like put them down
But
or something.
not when you find out that they're sick.
Right.
Yeah.
Which she was like, I want to spend as much time with my cat right now as I can and soak it up as much as, because my sister's got a very big heart. She's a very emotional lady. So I can totally see her doing it. I just was like, that seems like a weird choice.
A little bit, yeah.
What is a significant amount of time?
Like how long she's had this cat?
No, how long did she take off for?
I feel like at least 2, if not 3 days.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Especially like I don't know where Madison works.
Yeah.
Some of us don't get a lot of time off
Right.
to start with. So like, God forbid when the cat does die, what are you going to do?
You don't get bereavement time for a pet. I mean, I think if you have a good boss, she's going to let you have the time off. Like, oh, my cat dies. Like, hey, take a day off.
Right.
That's fine.
And
But
that's
you
what I
don't
would
really,
think.
Yeah, you don't really get 3 or 4 days for a pet.
Right.
Although you might want it.
And I don't think if she did take those days off, because I'm pretty sure she did. If she did, I doubt she was like, well, I just found out my cat is dying, so I can't come into work today. So she just probably was like,
Just
I
said,
can't
yeah,
come
I'm
in.
not coming in, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm sick or something. So thought that was weird. A little bit weird.
Your family is a strange group.
My family?
Yeah, that's what I said.
My family?
Uh-oh.
Your
Pull out the guns.
Here we
Are
go.
we going to play
Let's
Whose
go.
Family is Weirder Bingo?
Pull out the guns.
Which one? Let's play a little game.
Yeah.
Who has a relative that's in prison for life?
Yeah.
Well, that would be me.
That would be Dave.
Interesting.
I
I
spent-
don't.
Right.
I spent probably 2 hours the other day ordering in magazines and books.
Yeah, what kind of magazines?
TV Weekly. I'm not making this up. Not TV Guide, TV Weekly. And
Yeah.
then a bunch of Lord of the Rings,
Ooh.
philosophy kind of books. Yeah.
Cool. That sounds fun.
That's nice of
Oh,
you.
okay.
That's so nice.
Who's got a sister that, let's see.
Well, I got one.
What?
Who's got a friend that collects remains of, what is it, cats? Or
Yeah.
No, just-
teeth?
Yeah, teeth, even
I have
weirder.
a friend, but that's my friend. That's not even my
A
family.
close friend, though. It's a close friend. Could be considered family.
Yeah, she is like family. Yeah, she does collect teeth. But that makes her interesting, quirky,
No.
different.
That makes her frightening.
Yes. She's not getting in my car. We'll be able to go somewhere together.
No. Aren't your siblings weird, Dave?
No, that my siblings, some of them are, some of them are not.
Yeah. Would you say the majority?
I would say some of them are, some of them are not.
That's a confirmation.
Yeah, my
That's a
sister
yes.
did fall into a manhole.
Mm,
So
Well, doesn't that happen to us all?
no, it does not.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I just want to let you know this is. I mean, because it is such a powerful, sad, awful thing when you lose a pet.
Mm-hmm.
Intern John, that used to work on this show, he's got a little guy named Chewy,
Mm-hmm.
and Chewy was 15 years and 10 months old.
Is this a dog?
A little
Yes.
Chihuahua.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. And Chewy died a couple of days ago. And I feel so bad for intern John. Intern John is like one of those people that's like, he's got a very boisterous, loud, confident kind of persona, but he's a really nice guy. And he's not married and he doesn't have kids. And his little guy died.
Yeah, and Chewy
so,
like went through so many different phases of his life because I think he got Chewy after he left here because he went to Iowa to do radio for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Chewy was where he got, or that's where he got Chewy. And so then he's gone through every other phase of his life since then, which has been a lot for John because he's now hosting a morning show in D.C. And so I know Chewy was his buddy. I texted him to say I'm sorry because it's so hard to lose a pet.
It really is. Yeah, if you follow Intern John Radio, he's still called Intern John, even though he's 35 years old.
And the host.
You can see him on Instagram.
Arnold, and that's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Find quality produce at Whole Foods Market. Save on avocados from Mexico, medium Hass avocados through March 18th. Make a bowl of limey guacamole with crispy tortilla chips. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
101.3 KDWB.
You can't make this stuff up. 2, 3, 4.
Here's some fun facts about drinking. How much do you drink really? So there's a big survey on how much people are actually drinking and being honest about it. 69% of us, so I don't know, like 2 out of 3 of us drink at least occasionally, though only 5% of us drink daily, and another 13% drink a few times a week. Now, this is an anonymous study, so people are hopefully being honest about this one. Men drink more frequently. 47% of guys, half of guys drink at least a few times a month versus 35% of women. 1 out of 3 women drink a few times a month. White people drink most frequently. 44% drink at least a few times a month. Young people drink most frequently, other than old people. I believe 47% of 21 to 29-year-olds drink at least a few times a month. You drink maybe once a month, twice a month?
It depends. I usually only do if I'm like going out to a brewery or something.
Socially?
Socially.
Older folks are most likely to drink daily. 7% of older folks drink daily.
Wow.
Does that include like beers, or are we talking
anything
shots?
alcohol? I think anything alcohol.
I don't think old people are doing shots anymore.
So I just meant
probably not. Yeah. Rich people drink the most. 56% drink at least a few times a month. I wonder why that is. Versus just 1/3, 1 in 3 of lower income people. And why do we drink as much as we do? Among drinkers, more than half say it makes their enjoyment of meals more, more enjoyable. And half say it helps in social situations. So if you're going over to the Olsons for a little get-together, you might have a little, a little scotch and soda when you get over there. Or
I agree.
Cosmo or something like that.
I'm pretty awkward in social situations. So the second you put a beer in me, I'm less awkward.
You need liquid courage?
Liquid courage, yep.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
One piece of advice, do not drink before you give your maid of honor speech.
Okay.
Or your best man speech. I'm just going to give you a little tip. I know it's like, you know what? I got to do the best man speech. I'm going to get a little couple of liquid courage shots. No, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, it is a bad idea.
Write it and practice it.
Yes.
Just an idea. That is, you can't make this stuff up. We are 5 minutes away from your keyword for Kendrick and SZA. That's coming up. I can't promote this enough because I'm super excited about us being out. We're going to get to go out and about. They let us out once every month or so. We're going to be at Dave & Buster's with Bailey and Vaughn and me and Jenny. It's a grand reopening. It's been there for a while down in Southdale, but it's bigger and better than ever. They're doing grand opening stuff all day on Friday, but we're going to be there from 4 until 6.
And it's going to be beautiful weather, too, like 70 degrees.
Is it really?
On Friday, yeah. So I'm going to have to shave my legs. Like, sucks.
I'm sorry about
Thank
that.
you so much, Dave. Thank you so much.
And I'm bringing some magic along, too. So I'll be walking around doing a little bit, here and there, and hanging out and doing video games and the claw game and everything. And Crossy Road, that's my jam.
Oh, I'm an air hockey guy.
You do
I can school you in air hockey, baby.
You probably could. When I was a kid, my brother got an air hockey table for Christmas.
I'm jealous already.
Now, it was a Kmart air hockey table because we didn't have a lot of money. And it sat on the floor on legs about 5 inches high, and it was only about as big as a bathtub. So it wasn't a big air hockey table. What's worse, it was warped in the middle.
No!
So it wouldn't quite scoot over and skim over the little air hockey table. It would always get stuck in the middle. So you'd have to hit it extra hard.
Dang.
Now, if you were a rich kid and had a real air
one.
hockey table, wow. I'm jealous. All right, that is You Can't Make This Stuff Up. It's Dave's Dirt coming up next. And right after this song, don't miss it. 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes from your next Kendrick keyword. The keyword for Kendrick and SZA, all you got to do is listen, get that keyword, pull your phone out, text that keyword to KDWB1, and you are in for the big concert, probably the biggest show of the year, coming to U.S. Bank Stadium April 19th.
Microphone check. 101.3 KDWB with your chance to see Kendrick Lamar and SZA April 19th at U.S. Bank Stadium. Just text the keyword snooze to 53921. That's snooze to 53921. A confirmation text will be sent. Standard message and data rates apply.
I can remind you what you just heard, but you're an intelligent person. I think you can figure it out. That keyword is snooze. Text it to KDWB1. I want to. It happened a week and a half ago. My dog Josie died, and she was 1 day short of her 16th birthday, and it's such a shock. And every day I still go home and I look for her because every time she'd see me, she would do like an excited stretch. She'd put her paws out in front of her and stretch and put her head down. And then she'd come running over to me, and then she'd I don't know, look for scratches, and then I'd put her outside, and then she'd come back. And it was just, if you have a dog that you've lost, you know what I'm talking about. You look for them, and they're not there. And you just intentionally, here's another thing. When you drop scraps on the floor while you're cooking or making a sandwich, there's nobody to help you clean it up. It's just you got to bend down and pick up that piece of ham or turkey by yourself.
Oh.
Because there's no more dog to pick it up.
There's no little vacuum cleaner.
There's no little vacuum cleaner. And she would follow me around the house, and she was just my buddy. And we had her since she was, 3 months old. So she was just, it was the only family she ever knew. And so a friend of mine texted me last night. Let me show you the text. I'll read it to you.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. They said most people think the song Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol is a love song about a breakup, when actually he wrote the song for his dog who passed. I've never been able to listen to it without tearing up since I found that out. The lyrics are way more beautiful now. Thought if you needed a good cry, you could give it a listen. Sometimes it's therapeutic. So I listened to it last night on the way over to Snap Fitness. I got about a minute in, and I was like, and I didn't want to walk into Snap with tears in my eyes, so I turned it off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play the entire song now and see how we get through this one. Now, remember, it's apparently not about losing a love or missing a love. It's about missing his dog.
Is that like fully accurate? Do you know?
As far as I know.
As far as you know.
As far as I know. Listen. A love song, dog song disguised as a love song. I didn't know that. I've heard that song a million times, and somebody texted me and said the person who wrote that wrote it after his dog died.
Which is very sweet.
And I tried to listen to it yesterday, and I was like, I can't do it. So I listened to it today.
And dogs chase cars. That's like a thing dogs do, so it makes sense. This is called chasing cars.
Yeah. So, and here's another thing. So many people reached out when Josie died, and you know, so many of my friends and just people who listen to the show, and I really I learned something. Because I really appreciate everybody who reached out, but I learned something really powerful. I appreciate everybody who reached out. How you doing? I'm so sorry about Josie. But it was the people who reached out again and said, hey, how are you doing? That made me really like, wow, that was really very touching that they did care enough to reach out again.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, everybody who reached out once, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I learned something. So if you know somebody who loses a dog or loses a friend or family member, don't just say, hey, I'm sorry to hear about your Uncle Pete. Reach out again a few days later. How are you doing?
Because they get an influx on the first day, and then it'll start going downhill. And then after that, be like, hey, you know what? What if I check it in again? Because now they probably haven't heard from anyone in a while.
Yeah, and there's stages of grief.
Yeah.
Like me asking you on like the day it happened or the initial day, it's much different than how you're going to respond 4 days later when I ask you.
Yeah, for sure. The first day was shock. It really was because she woke up and she was, you know, getting older, but she should have lived for, you know, another few months at least. But then she was really sick that
It was
day.
very sudden.
And we took her into the vet. The vet said, yeah, you might want to consider a humane euthanasia. Euthanism?
Euthanization.
Euthanization.
Yeah,
is
there
that
you
what
go.
it is? I'm sorry. And we're like, oh my God. So within a few hours of waking up and she was fine, then she was gone. So it was very tough. Sorry if I made you cry. I did get a lot of text messages, crying on my way to work. Another one, okay, sobbing on my way into work. Okay. Damn it, Dave, I'm bawling now. I just told my Rocky how much I love him. I shed a tear or two. I'm in the McDonald's drive-thru. The poor employees seemed concerned. I lost my pup of 15 years last summer. I get the feeling. And I'm going to eat my burrito now. Good.
Your
Good.
burrito from McDonald's?
Well, breakfast burrito, yeah.
Oh, breakfast burrito. Like
Imagine.
burrito.
Delicious.
The McDonald's employees just like, it's just a sausage McGriddle. It's okay. They're just like, sheesh.
Here's something else that happened. So I talk about friends reaching out. So I might have told you, like, a lot of my friends have like kind of disappeared or abandoned me in the last 5 years or so.
Okay.
Like Brentley and I we don't talk anymore.
That's a bummer.
It's a big bummer, and we may never talk again. And he was my best buddy for a long, long time. And then, you know, so it's kind of one of those things when people, I think when they get older, they have less room in their life for friends unless they're like really close. So just friends have dropped off the radar. And there was this one friend of mine that she lived in Ohio, and we used to date way back when we were young. And then we kind of stayed in touch, and I haven't seen her in 30-something years. And she's got a boy that's Carson's age, and so we would talk about, you know, our kids and her marriage and things like that. And then she just stopped responding. And so I texted her and I said, if you're not into this anymore, then I'm not going to bother you because I feel really pathetic and needy. And she didn't respond. So I deleted all of her contact info.
Oh.
I blocked her. I deleted her as a friend on Facebook.
You blocked her too?
Deleted all of her contact
like a
info.
lot, but okay.
Well, I was mad.
Sure.
Pouting.
Okay, you were pouting.
And yesterday, I go to the mailbox, and there is a card about Josie in my mailbox. Now, I don't know if she listened to the show or what. Shout out Ann. But again, I haven't seen her in 30-something years. But the only way she could get a hold of me was to send me a card.
That's nice.
I tried to text her back to say, hey, thanks for the card. I don't have her number anymore.
No, you deleted all of it.
I can't find her on Facebook because if you search for somebody that you blocked, they don't show up.
I can find it for you because I have your list of blocked people.
You're sleuthy.
I am.
How do you have my list of blocked
what?
people? What are you doing?
I have it. I can find it for you. Your list of blocked people.
You can?
Yeah, and so
Okay.
you can unblock someone.
Then I can unblock her and send her a message and say, hey, thanks for the card.
Yeah, I'll help you out, buddy.
So it was just it was like, okay, good. One of my friends got back in touch with me. I'm still waiting for a few others.
Yeah.
Now you're up to 2 friends.
Now you have 2 friends.
Total.
Congrats. I don't think Susan counts.
So
one friend.
Okay, all right, thanks. Let's do a quick Dave's Dirt on KDWB. And remember, you're never more than 30 minutes away from that Kendrick and SZA keyword. But right now, let's do this.
And now from the world's most unreliable sources, it's Dave's Dirt on KDWB.
Thank you so much. And in the dirt, Justin Bieber got hair transplant, like plugs from the back of his head to the front of his head. And because he hasn't been seen in public without a hat on for years. And so now he was a couple of days ago. And I saw a picture posted where he's got kind of like a buzz cut, but it's like full.
Yeah.
And it goes all the way to where you think a hairline should be. So they're saying it's hair plugs. It looks really good.
I know.
Go ahead.
I know that sometimes age has to do with it, but Justin Bieber's 31?
31.
And so is like one of the guys from Big Time Rush. They're about the same age probably. He also, his hair was thinning, so he cut it. But with Bieber, do we think drugs may or may not have had something to do with it?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think he's just probably losing his hair. Most people lose their hair. Like most men lose their hair, like period. We just don't see it all the time because they're not in like the public eye. So Bieber's in the public eye. He's losing his hair. Boom.
Mm-hmm. Yep, does happen. Ben Affleck, speaking of guys who wear wigs, Ben Affleck has worn a wig for a very long time. I'm not making this up.
You think so?
Oh, I'm not making this up. Yeah. Look up Ben Affleck toupee or Ben Affleck wig, and you will see articles that speculate on whether he does. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, think about that. If you're a Hollywood-like icon and you're losing your hair and part of your popularity is based on how handsome you are, why not go out and wear a wig?
I mean, even if you're a regular average person, I think like wear a wig if you want to, or get a toupee, or like what those ones where they glue it onto your head. Like if it makes you feel better about yourself, do it. Period.
Now, see, a lot of people think my hair is real. It is not. And if you look closely, you notice it's held on by a chin strap.
Yeah.
A little chin strap.
Like a clown hat.
Kind of like to hold that on. But it's flesh colored, so it's hard to see.
Your flesh colored
It blends in
strap.
pretty well.
Yep. So Ben Affleck has got a 13-year-old son. They're at some sneakers convention. And the 13-year-old says, Dad, can you buy me these $6,000 Dior Air Jordan 1 sneakers? And Ben Affleck said, you're going to have to mow a lot of lawns to do that. And he's like, what? But we have money. Ben Affleck told his kid, I have the money. You're broke.
Oh.
I'd love to hear that one. Collection of baseball caps for the Major League season has been pulled out of the market due to a typo. Here's why. Basically, it was for the Houston Astros. And the T apparently centered. I got it wrong. There's a couple that are wrong. The uppercase T on the Texas Rangers hat spelled the Spanish slang word for boobs. So I know it's just dumb. You fly on Southwest Airlines, they're going to start charging you for bags starting on May 28th. By the way, if you're going on spring break, get to the airport early and maybe do that park and fly or whatever, because it's more crowded at the airport. Spring break. It's that time of the year. So if you're going somewhere, you're going to the Bahamas or going to Key West for spring break, make sure you get to the airport early and think about parking off site. Just a little tip.
Have you gotten the Real ID thing on your, like, to be able to fly?
No, have you?
Yeah, I got it when me and Alyssa switched our licenses from Jersey to Minnesota. Because starting May 7th, you have to have like a Real ID verification thing, or you can't fly anywhere domestically.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. And now, like, I'm glad that we did it back in October. Because now, since the deadline's coming up, they're saying there's at least a 35-day wait to get that thing on your license.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Why?
To fly
Why isn't
domestically
that-
too.
Why isn't that like hot news right now? That feels like that's important.
I don't know, but
In
yeah, it's
May,
anywhere.
you said?
Yeah, May 7th is the deadline. It says starting May 7th, you'll need a Real ID or another acceptable form of ID to board domestic flights within the U.S.
Well, isn't a driver's license another acceptable form of ID?
You have to have the little star thing on it. Like my license, I'll show you later, it has like that verification on it.
Oh, I truly didn't know that. Thank you, Vaughn. How do you get a Real ID? You have a short answer?
The DMV.
Is that where you go? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, thanks. Temptation Island, remember that show?
Yes.
It's coming back to Netflix. 4 couples test their relationship in a reality series by shacking up on a tropical island with eligible singles.
Sounds fun.
Margot Robbie, who played Barbie, is being considered to star in the biopic of Anna Nicole Smith. Her very complex but short life due to a 2007 OD from painkillers included marrying an 89-year-old oil baron in her 20s. Remember that? She married some old guy. And
like super old,
like
too.
89 years old. Like, yeah. And in celebration of Chapel Roan releasing a country song called The Giver Tomorrow, several nightclubs across the country are throwing chapel-themed parties. Many of them are in the Deep South, but also Brooklyn, L.A., Chicago, and Springfield, Missouri. Why, Bailey?
Why, Dave?
Why Springfield, Missouri?
I don't know
'Cause
why.
she's from there.
She's
she's from there. Duh.
Bailey
Oh, my
Rise and
gosh.
fall of a
I
Midwest
should have
princess.
known that. Oh.
You're a fake Chapel fan.
I
You
am.
really are.
Fake fan.
Today's National Girl Scout Day, so shout out Girl Scouts. And I'm going to tell you this one as a plug. Girl Scouts are not just all about cookies. They do high adventure. They do rappelling. They do hiking. They can kill a bear with just a hatchet.
And their bare hands.
And their bare hands. So shout out Girl Scouts. But a lot of the people the only thing they know about them are cookies.
Well, they're so good. I mean, how can you blame us for only giving them credit for Thin Mints, peanut butter patties, shortbread?
Nope, I get it.
What?
That is The Dirt. It's brought to you by 612 Injured, Heimer and Lammer's Injury Law. We're coming back. We got a couple of games. We got your ticket, your keyword for Kendrick and SZA. That's coming up. You're never more than 30 minutes away from that one. And a rare, very, very spicy group therapy about a woman who doesn't want her cousin to come to her wedding because her cousin wants to be the main character everywhere she goes. She doesn't want her there. What happens? You'll hear it next, a couple of minutes away on KDWB. Hey, little pop quiz. You ready? Who has set the standard in weight loss, giving you real results that last? The answer is